Hey there, world. Hi, guys. Meet Bodhi Mills. Hi. So this is his birth story. It is not a birth, like an actual birth video. We really tried to get it, but it was like it happened too fast. So his name is Bodhi, B-O-D-H-I, and that's Sanskrit for enlightened and awakened. And I know that's like such a big name for a little guy, but really the way that he came into this world was just, it was just full on presence. And I wanted to share that with you, share that with him when he can see this video someday. And yeah, so the story goes, I think he's going to want to eat again. Excuse me, guys. This is like a full-time job here. So yeah, when we found out we were pregnant, my due date, he's just going to feed here. My due date was April 1st, and that is my parents' anniversary. And if you guys have been following me, my dad passed away 2 weeks before my daughter was born, and his favorite name was Hunter, and he passed away on the Hunter moon. And so like her name was so special to us, and like that experience was really special. And then when we found out we were pregnant again, which was very unlikely, I mean, I'm 42 years old, like we found out I was pregnant and the due date was on April 1st. It was just one of those, you know, just like little sweet signs that like my dad is still here and he's protecting us and being with us, you know, and giving us this gift. So I was really looking for a meaningful name, and I had a hard time picking them. And so the night before he was born, I went in for my 39-week checkup. Everything felt really good, but I was measuring, my fundal height was measuring really low. And so the midwife said I should go get an ultrasound. And then all these people were in my ear like, oh, you need to go take control of your health. You need to advocate for yourself, and kind of scaring me. So that night I went in for kind of not an emergency, but just like at 11 o'clock at night, we met with the midwives, and they just, you know, did a non-stress test and see if my water was broken, and I was fine. So Friday, that was Thursday night, Friday, I got a call to schedule for the ultrasound, but everything felt so rushed. They were like, you know, we're going to do it at 2:30. It was almost 2. I would have to be in rush hour traffic. And I just kind of closed my eyes and breathed and like was present, like brought myself back to presence. And my like intuition, my internal GPS was saying, no, this feels like too much. You can wait till Monday. And thank God I did, because that was at 2. My water broke at 3:30. And I'm like, okay, I'll probably have some time. So my 2-year-old and I hopped on the bed and I did my hypnobirthing, and she and I were like doing our breathing techniques together. And within like 15 minutes, like the cramp started picking up, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I told Jake, you know, let's call the midwives, let's get in there. And so by 4:45, we were at the center. It's closed, so no one's there. I'm now 1 minute apart in contractions. And finally the midwives get there at 5. They turn on the lights, turn on the tub. I'm like ready to have this baby. And I hop in the tub, and, you know, Jake's hot showering me off. And my goal was to have a water birth. But I do find in life that when we, you know, set an intention, you know, we do our best to be in that like highest present moment, you know, of presence and appreciation. And then we can surrender, right? Like, and just kind of let go of the outcome. Oh, there's the drunk milk face. Oh, Bodhi. You know, then like cool things happen, right? He's always so hungry. We're always so hungry. Yeah. We're telling your story. And where was I? Sorry, guys. So yeah, so then I wanted my water birth. That's really all I wanted. And I had surrendered, like, if I need anything else, if I need an epidural, if I need a, you know, C-section, like, you know, then so be it. But, you know, this is what I'm hoping for. And it was even better than that, because so I was at 5, I got in the tub, and I got to deliver him, like, all by myself with my hands and everything. And it was so cool because I was leaning back and I had my hand on my perineum. And I know this is TMI, guys, but I could feel my skin. Like it felt like silk, and it felt like a big silk balloon. And just like, I mean, it hurt. It hurt. Like contractions, labor is painful. You know, the ring of fire, it's no joke. But like even through that, I was like really present to him. And whenever I was like having a contraction, I just like push, like breathe through the whole thing. And I could feel my skin balloon and stretch. And then all of a sudden I felt his little hair here. And it was just like so soft. He's still hungry. And we've been feeding for like an hour. I've been waiting to do this. And so, okay. He's like his mama. He gets hangry. Here you go, dude. There you go. All right. I was hoping that you guys can just like see him the whole time. That was my plan. Surrender, right? And it was really cool because I had my hand on my perineum and it just kept stretching and ballooning. And I just, each contraction, I felt like in control, right? Like, because I could feel it getting bigger where I'm like, okay, there's something happening. Like we're doing this together, buddy. And I looked over at Jake and he's just like cheering me on. He's in the tub with me. I mean, dude was awesome. Like he fished out my poop. I know. What a man. What a husband right there. Fishing out his wife's poop. And yeah, it just like, it was like me and him, and like the midwife was just kind of hanging back really. And then, you know, all of a sudden I felt the softness of his head and I'm like, okay, little dude, we're going to do this. And, you know, it's not like the YouTube videos where it's like 2 pushes and it was out. It wasn't like that, but it was like contraction. It might have been like 8 pushes, like push. And then like you get a rest, you know, intense. But then all of a sudden his head came out and I just looked down. I'm in the tub. I'm holding his head. I can feel his little sweet arms and legs like swimming, but not from like distressed, but like just like he was like super chill. And I look over at Jake and Jake is crying, and I mean, I'm in pain, but I'm like, I'm crying. And it's like surreal to like see his head on the outside and then feel his body on the inside. And then the midwives, I was asking, I'm like, does anyone have a camera? And so like a midwife actually took a picture at that time. So that's the only picture where we have of his head coming out of me. And then, you know, I'm delivering him. But it just, yeah. And so then, and then like the next contraction, they're like, okay, next contraction, you're on. And I pushed. And then his shoulders came out and his whole body like came to my chest. And I was like crying, and Jake's crying. And he's like, you did it, babe. And so that was a total of 3 hours. So water broke at 3:30. Nuts. Baby was born at 6:36 p.m. And then what's crazy is we got to go home because we were at the birth center. We got to go home and we were home at 9:30 p.m. and in bed, asleep by 10:30. Little Bodhi got to meet his grandparents, my mom, and then the next morning, Hunter got to meet her little baby brother. Like the stork dropped him off or something. It was really cool. And so the name Bodhi comes from, the reason why we came up with Bodhi, Jake's favorite name was Bodhi. But he had said when, you know, they put him on his chest and he was in the bed and they were kind of like toweling me off, and he just looked at his son and he looked at me and he was just like, I'm in awe of you, babe. Like you did it. And, you know, he's like, I just watched you deliver this baby like all yourself. And he's like, the sun was setting and he saw his baby and he's just like, wow, this was just, you know, birth is raw and real and very primal. But he said this was very like peaceful, you know, it just all flowed, you know. And so that made me like, okay, Bodhi, this might be your name. And then, you know, just how the birth went, you know, it's like, it was just full presence. You know, I felt like little man and I were like working together. I was in my body. I felt the wisdom of our body. And he's just like this little gift and reminder to be present, right? Not some unattainable state, like, you know, enlightenment or something, but really just to awaken to the magic and the joy of life that surrounds us. And like these little precious moments, like the sun setting and, you know, being with those you love and like honoring life and honoring our body and listening to our body, because our bodies are just so wise. And yeah, like Hunter's birth was super powerful. It was like there was a huge storm that we haven't had, like the biggest storm that we haven't had like in like 20 years. And then, you know, sweet Bodhi's birth was just really empowering to be that present to the sensations, to the pain, you know, to the joy, you know, to your body, just that amazing body that we have that can give life and birth life. And yeah, and I was just like fully present to it. So it's pretty cool. But I'm just feeling, gosh, so grateful for this little guy. And I just, yeah, feeling lucky to have him at my age. And what's crazy is if I had delivered at the hospital, they would have induced me at 39 weeks. So the next day I had him. So I wouldn't have had that opportunity to deliver you myself. Yes. Thank you guys for being here, listening to our birth story. I just want to tell you and remind you, if you ever doubt, you know, your body, just know that your body is wise. Your internal GPS knows what to do. So listen to it. And then Bodhi, you know, that we can just awaken to these little magic moments. Thanks for being here.